there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you're here, yay, you found me. I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. As you know already, my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the inside scoop on filmmaking quality and content, so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a particular film. So today the movie I'm reviewing is called Speak No Evil. I know this just already came out, but I'm still trying to catch up from when I had COVID. This psychological horror by Blumhouse is now playing in theaters. It's rated R, and rightly so. It's an hour and 50 minutes long, and my overall movie review mom grade is a B+. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like if you like this one. All right, so in a nutshell, the story is about a family that is invited to spend a whole weekend in a country home of another couple that they had recently met while on vacation. The weekend reveals startling lies and an unimaginable dark side. This is an American remake of the 2022 Danish film. It's unusual to get an American adaptation of a film so quickly. The movie was directed by James Watkins, who also co-wrote it with Christian Taftrup and Mads Taftrup. Christian and his brother co-wrote the screenplay while Christian directed it. James McAvoy said that he did not want to watch the Danish film and didn't before he began filming this one because he didn't want it to influence how he performed and presented the story. And I'll tell you more about him in just a minute, but 24 hours after they finished filming, he did watch the original Danish film and he said he was extremely impressed. And just so you know, the original Danish version is much more violent and brutal. Now, I haven't watched it, but that's what I'm hearing. And I thought that this one was plenty bad enough, so I probably will not watch that Danish one. The director of the original unsettling Danish movie revealed that a real-life experience similar had inspired the film. He and his wife met a Dutch couple when they were on vacation, and later that couple invited them to visit them in the Netherlands where they lived. He and his wife declined the invitation because he thought it would just be kind of awkward. And then he let his mind wander and explore the worst case scenario to see how far and horrific this movie could actually go. Now, there are a lot of things I really liked about this movie. First of all, I don't really like horror movies, certainly not bloody, gory ones. So the only reason I really wanted to watch this was to see the incredibly sinister performance by James McAvoy. I've been a huge fan of his and knew he would be amazing in this. He did an incredible job as expected, and there's absolutely nothing he could have done better in this role. His creepy performance was just stellar. The rest of the cast also did a great job. It includes Mackenzie Davis, Scoot McNairy, Aisling Franciosi, and the two darling kid actors Alex West Leffler and Dan Hogue, or Hugh. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. There are so many times in Acts 1 and 2 where we see red flags and feel extremely uncomfortable. As you become more aware of what's really happening, you want to yell at the screen to warn the characters not to do what they're about to do, right? That's what a good horror can do, evoke fear and passion in the audience, and yelling at the screen. Mission accomplished in this film. The movie was filmed in Gloucester, England, and well, that's how Americans say it. I think in England they say Gloucester, England, and also in Croatia for a week. And I've been to both of those places, and they're both beautiful. The title of this film takes on an interesting meaning in several ways, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers. Because you know the madness is coming, you feel the tension from the very beginning of the film, even though it starts very innocently. And throughout every scene, wondering, when is the chaos going to begin? The dialogue does a great job injecting some humor along the way, which is much appreciated, by me at least. Now, there were some things I didn't like. First of all, fans of the original Danish movie might be disappointed that the American film changes some of the plot points, especially the ending. Like most horror movies, there are always characters who make really dumb decisions that put themselves in even more in danger. But that's, again, part of the fun is just going, oh, how can they be so stupid, and yelling at the screen, right? Some viewers might complain that the story is slow moving because they want to get to the crazy action sooner. The horror begins in the last 20 minutes of the movie. Now, that's not unusual for a horror movie. There really aren't like jumps and scares from the very beginning that often happen in horror movies. It really could be fairly innocent and just the regular drama, although there are some odd things that make you go, huh? Like I said, the red flags, but then the crazy stuff doesn't happen until the very end of the movie. Sometimes it's really hard to understand what everyone was saying, just because of the audio that I listened to as I watched the movie. Let me give you some tips for parents. This frightening film is inappropriate for kids, so it's rated R for a reason. There's bloody, brutal violence, profanity, talk of a girl's period, talk of divorce, stealing, portrayal of intimate relationships, although they're fully clothed and some action happens under the table. We know what's going on. I'm just saying. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are friendship, marriage, parenting, yikes, social norms, being aware of when things aren't right, choices and consequences. What's fascinating about this movie, and when I mentioned societal norms, is, we all try to be polite and congenial with people, right? And as the audience, we know it's going to all go sideways. And so you're like, get out now. But in real life, the way that they play it and portray it, you think, yeah, I might have, just kind of pushed it under the rug and tried to be polite and, not knowing it was going to totally go bonkers. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Now, whenever I watch movies, I write the funny lines that I hear and the interesting lines simply so you can get a taste of the dialogue and script writing quality. You can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So here's one of the funny lines that I wrote down. It's spoken by James McAvoy. He plays a crazy character, obviously, whose name is Patty. And he says, early on, he says, honesty is the first step to facing things. And you're just like, what? Because the guy is obviously hiding secrets and not honest with people. And then I was looking for interesting lines, and I don't want to give any spoilers because some of the interesting lines I wanted to write down were, too revealing. So anyway, as I watch movies, I also instantly think of other movies. And so I wanted to recommend these. These are ones also with James McAvoy, again, because he's just so brilliant. Instantly, I thought of the movie Split, where he has this split personality and he plays a nice guy and a crazy guy, like in this movie. And so obviously he was so great in that movie. And that movie really caught him a lot of attention where people were just like, whoa, this guy is amazing. He was also in a movie called Atomic Blonde. And in that character, he's kind of a good guy and a bad guy. Loved him in that. It stars Charlize Theron, and he's a side character that interacts with her. He's not necessarily the big star like she is in the film. And then another movie that came out right during quarantine and the pandemic, or shortly after all of that began, is a movie that was very underrated and probably flew under your radar, called Together. There are two people in the movie, and it's he and his wife. And that it's just nonstop intriguing dialogue, incredible acting, not horror or comedy, but kind of a realistic look at life and what everybody was going through at the time. There is a lot of profanity. I'll actually cue that one up so you can watch that one as soon as this film ends, so you can kind of see if you're interested in watching that. But his performance was just stellar, as was that of his leading lady. All right, when you get a minute, run over and visit me on my Facebook group, where we've got lots of fun conversations about movies, and you get the instant notification that I've got a new movie review, as well as when you subscribe and ring that bell, you'll get an instant notification. Like, subscribe, comment down below, you know the drill. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.